At the beginning of film, we see a couple. James was a writer. He had also written a book. But his book is completely flop. James's wife was very rich. Her dad was a big businessman. That's why James used to enjoy his wife's money. They both had gone to a place for vacation. The people living in the city very poor. There was a hotel there which was made for rich people. And around the hotel they had to set up a fence bar. So that no poor man in the city could enter the hotel. During lunch, James's wife tells him that she can't eat here. There is a Chinese hotel nearby. She will FO there and eat. If he want he can come with her. When James was going with his wife he sees a man in the hotel. Who was breaking everything with a bike. Then a girl comes to James whose name was Gabby. James asks him what is going on. The girl said that is a man from the city who has entered the hotel and he is coming here and breaking everything. Gabby also tells him that she is a big fan of his. She has also read his book. James was very surprised to hear this. Because his book had failed. Gabby tells him that she is waiting for the second part of his book. After a while, Gabby's husband comes. They both tell James to eat with them at night at hotel. At night, when James goes to the hotel with his wife. Gabby and her husband were also there waiting for them. They all talk about their work among themselves. Gabby told them that she is an actress. While her husband is a businessman. They all eat together and have a lot of fun. In the morning, James wakes up his wife. He told her that today we will go to the seaside with Gabby and her husband. On hearing this James's wife says that this is not possible, we cannot go out of this hotel. This city is not right for us. And I have heard that there are daily murders or thefts here. But James tells her not to worry, Gabby and Gabby's husband will take care of them as they know the city very well. They rent a car and give money to a hotel guard and leave for the beach. On the beach, James was alone. So Gabby goes to him. James was very surprised to see this. He thinks that Gabby is very concerned about him. On the way back, everyone had drunk a lot. Everyone was drunk except James. That's why he drives the car. But while driving the car, he was also sleepy. Suddenly his eyes close. At that moment a man accidentally came in front of his car. When they go out and see, that man was dead. James's wife was very upset and surprised to see all this. She tells James that they should tell the police about this. But Gabby refuses them. She says that the police here are very dangerous. When they catches the criminal, they punish they very badly. James and his wife were scared to hear all this. That's why they don't tell anyone anything. And come back to the hotel. In the morning, when James wakes up, he was very tired. Then a bell rings at his door. When he goes and sees, there was police outside. Who had come to catch them? Police take him and his wife to the jail. So that they can inquire about that man. Who had an accident with his car. Upon inquiring, James's wife tells everyone the truth. That it was her husband who was driving the car that day. James was kept in a separate room. After a while, an officer comes to him. Who tells him that his wife has confessed his crime. James asked the officer about what punishment will he get. The officer told him that his punishment is only death. Upon hearing this James started to cry because he didn't want to die so soon. The officer says, who is telling you to die? You will be punished. But not you, your clone. Your doppelganger. Duplicate human. James asks him. How can this happen? The officer says, everything can be done with money. We can make human clones. With which he gets punished. Not the real human. And the real criminal is saved. After hearing all this, James goes to the ATM. He brings a lot of money and gives it to the officer. Then these people take James's away for measurement. And by preparing it, it is sent to a room. Where there was a different kind of liquid. When it starts to grow, a clone of it is ready. When James opens his eyes, his wife was in front of him. She told him that his clone is ready. Which looks exactly like him. Now she takes him with her. Where James's clone was. James was surprised to see his own human clone. Which was exactly like him. Now James's clone had to be punished. Where everyone was gathered. Who had come to see his punishment. The punishment was to be given by that man's son. Who was killed by James. That kid comes and kills James's clone. At this time, the real James's head was sweating. James now thinks. What is it in this city? How can this happen? When he goes back to the hotel and he packs his things. Because James's wife did not want to stay here anymore. She was afraid of all this. But then James realized that his passport is missing. He goes to the counter lady of the hotel. and ask, "Do you have my passport?" She says no. But yes, until you get your passport. I can extend your trip for another week. James says yes and leaves. Then Gabby comes there. Who wanted to talk to James? But James was not ready to listen to her. But after Gabby's insistence, he sits and listens to her. Gabby says that once my husband's company was running well. So during this time, 2 men were killed due to an accident. His death was blamed on my husband's head. He was caught as guilty. And got the death penalty. Then we found out that if you give money to the government here, then they make the criminal's clone. The penalty is given to the clone. And the real criminal is released. Gabby says that there are many more people like us, with whom all this has happened. Now she takes James with her to meet those people. They had a small group. And they were enjoying doing all this by staying here. Means they would kill any man just for their enjoyment. Then they would give money and make their clone. Clone would get punished and they got released. Gabby makes everyone meet James. They all planned that hotel in which they are staying. The house of the owner of here is on the mountain. Why don't we go there and teach him a lesson? James listens and says that all this is not right. But they all convince him. After which they break the glass of a shop. Go inside the shop and take a mask from there for themselves. Then they go to the house of the owner of the hotel. And ring the bell of his house. After entering the house they made everyone a hostage. Then Gabby gives a gun to James's hand and tries to convince kill everyone. Then the hotel owner's guard comes there and tries to shoot Gabby and his group. In this, a bullet hits the owner of the hotel and he dead. Gabby also got injured. They went to a room to treat her but the police come and catch everyone. The police officer comes to them and says that these people have committed a lot of crimes. And they have made a lot of their clones. Now they can't make more of their clones. The officer takes them all to a room where everyone's necks are cut and they are punished. Then we see some people sitting there clapping. They were none other than Gabby and James's group of people who were watching their clones d. James too. Now it was fun to work with them. When he goes to the hotel, his wife says to him that she can't stay here any longer and going from here. James says okay. If you want to go then go. But I don't want to go. James's wife was feeling sad about his behavior. That's why she got angry and leaves him. James now goes to Gabby and says that my wife left me. Gabby says to him, "You don't worry. I am with you." Then she takes him to the room and gives him a special kind of medicine in which there was intoxication, after which they got intimate. Now James is also in Gabby's group. It was fun to kill people. One day they plan that they will kidnap the police officer and kill him. They do the same. They go to the police station and kidnap the officer. And then they say to James that he should beat him first. James smells the same intoxication with which he was not in his complete sense. He beats the officer a lot and peed on him. When Gabby removes the cloth from the officer's mouth, James found out that he was not an officer, but James's duplicate clone. James feels very bad about this. Gabby says, "We were just kidding with you." He locks himself in a room and now he is thinking in his complete sense. This is a very dangerous group. They don't understand him at all. They are just using him for fun. He locks himself in the room and then takes out his passport from the washroom, which he had hidden there himself, so that he can stay here. But now he wanted to go back. He takes his passport and sits in a bus, so that the bus leaves him at the airport. When he was going in the bus, then he saw Gabby and her companion were following him in their car. Gabby comes in front of the bus and shows a gun and tells him to get off the bus. Gabby and her companion drive James to the hotel on foot. James did not like their behavior at all. He was now thinking that he should have gone with his wife. James tries to snatch Gabby's gun but failed. So he tries to run away from there. To stop him, Gabby shoots him. The bullet goes to James's feet, due to which his feet got injured. It was night while he was running in the jungle. Then he sees a house. 2 ladies see him there and take James to their house and treat him. While James was unconscious, he saw many hallucination. When he regains consciousness, he saw Gabby and his group calling him from outside. When he goes out, he saw the whole group of Gabby was waiting for him. Gabby tells him, "Today is your test. How brave you are. Your fight is going to be with a dog here. If you kill him, then we will understand that you are very brave. Here they had brought a duplicate of James as dog. But James did not want to kill his clone. They also gives a knife in his hand. Now even though James does not want, he has to kill his clone because the group had given his clone drugs and making it attack James. And then he cries a lot. These people tell that it was just a duplicate of his so he don't have to feel guilty. Gabby comes and makes him quiet. After which Gabby did a very disturbing thing, she put blood of James's clone on her breast and start breastfeeding James as his reward. After which we are shown James calls his wife and apologizes and asks for forgiveness. Holidays were over. Everyone had left to go home. They were all talking to each other. How were their holidays as if nothing had happened? But James was not talking to anyone. Then they all go to the airport and take their own flights. But then we see James, who was still at the airport. He drives his car back to the hotel. At the end of the story we are shown that James was sitting alone in rain in the hotel. Seeing him, it seemed James was still in shock and guilt of what he had done.